Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Atmosphere Europe 2021. This is the 11th time we're hosting Atmosphere Europe. Last time was in Warsaw back in 2019, before COVID. This time we were planning to host it in Brussels because of the EU policy-making process and the next EU F-gas regulation that is expected in the next couple of years. And again, due to COVID and the Delta variant, we had to go online. So unfortunate, but thank you for joining us today online for the conference. We've got 2 days of a really phenomenal program covering many different aspects, many different angles around natural refrigerants, around clean cooling, around the future of cooling. So welcome. So I've been working in the cooling industry for close to 20 years. My name is Marc Chasserot. I'm the founder of Atmosphere. And I've been in the industry now 20 years, and I love cooling. If someone had told me 20 years ago when I started out that I would one day be saying that on stage or at an online conference, I would have said that they were crazy. But I really do love cooling. The reason is that it matters. It's something that, what we do in our industry influences people's lives. It matters not only from an environmental perspective, but from a daily life perspective. All the different technology and applications that use coolants, are used every day, everywhere. It's omnipresent. And the same time, the thing that frustrates me the most about what we do in our industry, although we're innovating and we're doing lots of interesting projects, the thing that's the most frustrating is that we behave like we have another 20 or 30 years to change. We always think that we can do this in 10 years time, in 20 years time. We have plenty of time, no need to change. Let's just carry on as is. And, I think we need to wake up. We're running out of time. For those that missed the IPCC assessment report that came out last month during the Northern Hemisphere summer holidays, I'll quote, "Unless there are immediate, rapid, and large-scale reductions in greenhouse gas emissions, limiting warming to close to 1.5 degrees Celsius or even 2 degrees will be beyond reach." This is unprecedented as a challenge. And we've got basically a decade to deliver. Less than a decade. We're already in 2021. So we've got 9 years left. And we're at the end of 2021. So we've got 8 years left to really make a difference. And when you think about that for me, that's personally, and I'm sure it's the same for all of us, I'm constantly torn between the hope and the despair. On the hope side, the regulators, they are stepping up around the world. And COP26 in November will be a big showcase of that political leadership. Here in Europe, the revision of the EU F-gas regulation is a real opportunity for us to lead this transition globally. We already have for the last 10, 15 years. Now we can go to the next level. And we can do this with ambition. And, just in case the regulators don't deliver, luckily, we have a new movement in sustainable investing, commonly known as ESG. There's about close to $2 trillion that have already been invested in ESG companies or focused companies. And that's just the beginning. And so when this type of mindset from the financial community hits our world of cooling, it's going to hit us like a tsunami. And it's coming fast. Now, if the regulators and the financial community don't deliver in the next few years for a cleaner world, then thankfully we have the next generation, and Greta is just the symbol of that. And they will demand and expect change. They will not be happy with what we have right now as a status quo. So change is coming. That's the good thing. And it's going to come fast, and it's unsettling. But we need to be careful, because right now we're sleepwalking into another round of dirty cooling. The guys that sold us ozone depletion sold us global warming. And what we're going to find out at this conference is that they're also selling us water acidification and more. We need to understand that dirty cooling is not the future of our industry. And the ESG guys, the financial community, and the regulators, and the new generation consumers will realize that much faster than we think in our industry. And that will force change upon us. And we simply don't have 20 years to realize that these dirty cooling solutions are not the solution. That's why at Atmosphere, we partnered up with Professor Toby Peters last year and published a document defining what we call as clean cooling. We want to define a pathway for our industry, really establish that gold standard for sustainable cooling that we call clean cooling, which is really the benchmark, the intersection between the Paris Climate Agreement, the Kigali Amendment of the Montreal Protocol, and the Sustainable Development Goals. And the good news here is that the fastest way to clean cooling, or a clean cooling future, and not a dirty cooling future, is through natural refrigerants. So today we're going to learn about all of these clean cooling solutions. That's what's the exciting part of Atmosphere Europe. But we must not forget that there's a context to all of this, and it's becoming urgent. Action is needed. So just a little bit about Sheco/Atmosphere. So some of you may have noticed that this month we were previously known as Sheco. We rebranded to Atmosphere, and you can find out more on our website, atmosphere.cool. And as Atmosphere, we are aimed to be a global, independent market accelerator with a mission to clean up cooling. As I've said, the cooling market is, and heating, cleaning, for me, cooling is both cooling and heating, just to clarify. This market is experiencing significant disruption innovation, and it's only logical that investors, end users, manufacturers need support to navigate this complex landscape and not go down the wrong path and be misinformed. So we've developed a suite of services and offerings to help support our various partners around the world. These are just a few examples, with more in the pipeline over the coming months. One new offering that was published actually just last week is our Atmosphere report, which is a market trends report for all these new clean cooling solutions. And Ilana, my colleague, will talk about this in more detail later this morning. Now, Atmosphere Europe, and as we all know, events have gone in a crisis over the last couple of years of COVID. So I really want to personally thank our sponsors for sticking by and helping us organize this event. It's really important that we get the word out, that we help educate the market. And we couldn't do this without our sponsors. So I want to personally thank our platinum sponsor, Teco, our gold sponsors, Castel, Arneg, EPTA, and Emerson, as well as our silver and bronze partners and online sponsors, as well as our media partners who are going to help spread the message. So thank you, personally, thank you for supporting us through these difficult times. For the live reporting part, one of the Atmosphere offerings we have is we've built a community called Atmosphere Connect, already 900 members since in the last 6 months. And this is a community where people are engaging on a daily basis and sharing best practice and information. And on the events channel of this community, we will have live reporting of this conference, where we'll be publishing every presentation as well as the major insights from each presentation. And hopefully that will generate discussions, and it will lead to connections and more after the event as well. And we see a great future for Atmosphere Connect. The program today, after the welcome introduction, we have our keynote presentation from Colin, followed by a technology trends session from Armin Hafner. Then we will have my colleague, Ilana, give us an overview of the market trends. As well as a CEO interview with Andreas Meyer from Teco. And going into the lunch break, we will have a technomercial from Castell. And then after lunch, we have our end user panel, which is always a very popular panel, followed by refrigeration case studies in the afternoon. So quite a busy day, lots of great big picture stuff, as well as different experiences from manufacturers, end users, thought leaders, as well as technology best practice. So it's a great day to join us today. The platform that we're using for this conference is Swapcard. You can see here that there is a possibility to submit questions in the chat forum. So next to where you're seeing this video right now, to the bottom right, you should see a little live discussion button or window, which allows you to chat, to submit questions, and to vote on polling throughout the day. You'll be able to interact with sponsors. On the sponsors and partners section, you'll be able to view their partner pages, some of their videos, their documentation, and book a meeting with specific sponsors that you're interested in. You'll be able to also, on the products section, view different products by category or by refrigerant. You'll be able to network with others attending. We have over 300 people attending the conference, so plenty of opportunities to network today. You can view these different profiles, and then you can book a meeting with these individuals, select a time that's adapted to your specific time zone, because we have people from all over the world attending today. That's one of the benefits of an online conference, and so forth. So in terms of the communication outside this event, obviously we're going to post some of the major insights, but not all, because most of them will be on ATMO Connect. But some of them we will also publish on LinkedIn to the wider audience. Please use the hashtags ATMO Europe and GoNatRS if you publish anything yourselves. And then we will have reporting from different media entities as well as our own platforms over the coming days. So we look forward to reading some of their articles. This conference is on record. So please, opinions are yours, but you will be quoted. So please be aware of that. Should that be an issue, but I doubt it. And then for the attendees who are interested in other regions of the world, we have a number of other conferences lined up over the coming days, over the coming year, my apologies. The next one will be Atmosphere America on the November 3rd or 3rd of November. That was originally planned to be in Washington, DC, but again, because of Delta, we had to postpone the event and go online. Then our event for Asia Pacific will be in Tokyo, but it will cover both Japan and the Asia Pacific region. That will be held in February next year. We have our global virtual trade summit and conference the end of March next year. Then we will have our in-person event only, Atmosphere America in Washington, DC in June next year. We have our first Atmosphere Latin America in-person event in Mexico City in September next year. And then we will come back to Brussels after Chillventa on November next year, 2022. And we're planning for an in-person event then. Thank you for listening. I'm just checking now to see if there are any questions from anyone. I guess that's normal. It's the beginning. It's the first day. It's the morning of the first day, so no worries. I'm used to not getting questions for the opening presentation. Well, thank you for all logging in, and I hope that you will stay with us throughout the day. Now we're going to switch over to welcome our keynote speaker. So I'm going to disappear for a couple of minutes, and then we'll reappear with Colin. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.